I realize that it's a very confusing time for the uninformed and the youth of this country. Some of you grew up, you didn't have a daddy. Some of you grew up, you didn't have a mommy. The point is, you're all fucked up. But guess what? I'm going to be your new daddy, and I'm going to set you straight. You came to the right place. SexySwaney. That's the ticket. As I've been reviewing questions, I came across this one. I found this one on Yahoo Answers from KK. This is her question right here. I want my husband to give me. Yes, I'm going to ask you this. My husband and I have been together since high school, 1999, and he used to give me oral pleasure. I liked it a lot, but now he doesn't. This has been going on for a couple of years. I give him to him, and he likes it, but nothing for me. Any suggestions? He says to me he's just not into it. But other husbands and wives I asked said theirs aren't either, but they still do it. What gives? Well, let me tell you something, KK. It's all about the presentation, just like everything else. Basically, let's look at what you got here. You got the same thing every other woman in the world has got. You spent your whole life thinking it's special, thinking it's one of a kind. It turns out it's just a frickin' dime a dozen. You want him to put his mouth down there. Well, I'm not saying that he shouldn't, but I'm saying that it's all about the presentation. Here's what you do. If you got some hair on it, you shave that hair off. If it's always bald, let some hair grow. Get some whipped cream. Something that tastes good, because it doesn't taste bad, but it doesn't taste good. It's like licking flavorless Jell-O. So here's what you got to do. Polish it up, put a new coat of paint on it, make it look nice, and then here's what you do. You put your finger down there, and you pull that finger up, and you put it right in your mouth. And you show him how good it is. And I guarantee you, you polish it up, you present it right, he'll come by. He'll come by and he'll give you what you want. Well, this question's from Beach Babe. Since I've been married, I feel like I've lost myself, and now I don't know who I am anymore. Why? Is this normal? My husband and I have been married for a year, and I just don't feel like my normal, happy self. Does this happen to others? Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question instead of you asking me a question. At what point, when you got married, did you decide that you were just going to give yourself up and completely dedicate yourself to him? And here's the deal. What makes you think that he fell in love with you loving him instead of just fell in love with you? Now, let me give you a compliment here because you recognize that this is your problem, not his problem. So what you need to do is ball up a little bit. Think an original shot. Spread your wings and fly. You gotta live. I just think you gotta live, because let me tell you this. When you devote yourself 100%, when you love somebody so much that you disappear, it's like climbing into a box in the ground and dragging the dirt in on top of you. Don't suffocate yourself. You don't want to die, and he doesn't want to kill you. So spread your wings. Think a little bit. Be a partner, not just a freaking yes man. And if he loves you, and I'll bet he does, he'll appreciate you for it. This question, like all the others, comes from Yahoo Answers. And this question is from Natasha J. Well, I'm going to do Natasha J a favor and paraphrase this question instead of read it as she wrote it. Because on top of everything else, she seems to be completely illiterate without spell check on her computer. Long story short, she's been going out with a boy the same age as her. They're both 15. They've been going out for 5 months. He's wanting to have sex. She doesn't know what she should do. She told him no. Now she's starting to have second thoughts because she's starting to realize that if sex is what he's looking for, he can probably get it somewhere else. What should I do, Natasha J asks. Well, I'll tell you what you do, Natasha. If you want to give it up, give it up. If you want to hold on to it, hold on to it. Your relationships are not based on sex. Sex is too easy to come by. Sex is too cheap. Sex is too common. If you're going to go buy a house, are you going to base your choice on where you're going to live and spend the rest of your life because of the color of the bathroom walls? That would be ridiculous. And he's not going to stay in a relationship or leave a relationship based on whether you're going to give up the box or not. He's 15. He's looking to tap that ass. But let's not overestimate it. What you have is the same thing every other girl you've come across has. What you need to focus on if you want to keep him is some of the other issues. Can you communicate? Are you smart? Are you pretty? Can you cook? Do you actually contribute something to the relationship? Because as for the other, it's just sex, Natasha. It's just sex. It's just sex. To put it another way, Natasha, at all the time that you may or may not have in a relationship, how much time do you plan to spend laying on your frickin' back with your legs open? 10%, 20%, 30%, 5%, 6%, whatever that number is, that's how much you should be worried about whether you're going to give that box up or not, because that is the relevance that it should mean in your relationship. So, as you watch this video, did you like it? Did you appreciate it? Or did you hate it? Can you take 5 seconds of your time to rate it? And if you want to know when the next one comes out, subscribe. They should be coming out 2 or 3 times a week. Just do it. I get asked so many questions. Everybody's letting themselves be guided by their genitalia. Well, guess what? Life has very little to do with your little stick and beans and your little slit. Dad's going to explain to you what life does have to do with. Dad's going to show you that there is more than sex. Let me be your guiding light. Let me be your ray of hope. Happy days are here again. Let's get her started.